Hey everyone, it's Michael. Today we're going to be talking about the R.L. Stine Goosebumps book, One Day at HorrorLand, which of course this came out back in the day, in the 90s. And I never read this until now. I think about 4 or 5 months ago is when I read this for the first time ever, and I fell in love with One Day at HorrorLand. It is such a fun book. It's one of the more funny and sort of sillier books that Goosebumps put out, and yet it's an absolute fantastic, memorable masterpiece from what R.L. Stine has done with Goosebumps as a franchise. One Day at Horrorland is immediately memorable because of the location, because of the setup. It has such a cool kind of idea for how the story is told. And even the TV show adaptation that's like 2 episodes long, so it's like maybe 40 minutes long, I would say. Even that adaptation, which kind of derails from this on the second part, is still enjoyable in a lot of ways and still fun in a lot of ways. This book is excellent. I could not recommend it enough to you if you haven't read it. Sometimes Goosebumps succeeds tremendously with books like this, and it's such a wild one too. But everything about this is fun, and as I do my review, I think I'll talk more and more about certain details that I enjoyed tremendously. Essentially, a family is going out on vacation, and the younger brother, of course, there's a mom and dad, a main character who's a girl, the oldest sister, I believe, and then her younger brother, and then his friend. And for some reason, the friend wasn't included in the TV show adaptation. I guess it wasn't necessary, which I kind of agree with, but still. Basically, they're going out on a vacation somewhere, and they get lost, and they end up finding their way to this theme park called HorrorLand, with these big old creatures that are dressed up in, they're people supposedly dressed up in costumes of these beasts, and they're like green and have tails and stuff. And their car blows up at one point. And they're stuck there. The mom and dad are kind of having to freak out over the car and what to do about that, the insurance, all of those things, all of the possibilities of what could have possibly happened with this to just make their car explode. But we know as the reader that the park must be behind this in some way, shape, or form. We just don't know how. Well, again, the kids kind of just tell the parents, like, hey, is there any way we can just go in here and hang out for the rest of the day until we get this all straightened out and whatnot for a couple of hours? The parents say yes, so the brother and sister and the little friend all go out throughout the park doing different rides and games and stuff. And they have them listed on the back of the book here, thank God. But honestly, they didn't have to, because they're so memorable. It was such a good time. It was like taking a trip to the carnival for the first time in a long time in your life. It's that returning feeling of the excitement of what they're doing at this place. But the thing is, these rides and games and stuff they have in this park are actually based around horror ideas. For example, you have the werewolf village, where there's like a random wolf just running around all over the place that may or may not try to kill you. You can die in some of these games and stuff, the way Goosebumps, well, I guess R.L. Stine kind of puts it in this particular Goosebumps book. You have the Doom slide, which is the slide that if you take the wrong one, you could go down a slide for all of eternity, basically. As dumb as that sounds to some people, it is such a... If you've read Goosebumps, you know how well done that probably is in R.L. Stine's abilities, because he can make something like that that's so absurdly stupid be fun and enjoyable. And he does. He makes the Doom slide something really cool. That's just a concept that I don't think I've ever even heard somebody come close to mentioning something even kind of like that. That it would even come close to something like that. It's just a really wild, weird, wacky idea that just works tremendously. I love the games and the rides and stuff. One of the other ones, it's one of the last ones in the book, it's called the Coffin Cruise. You basically kind of do a whitewater rafting type thing, but you're laying down inside of a coffin. But while you're in this coffin, it's like things are touching you and stuff. You don't really know if it's bugs or what. It's genuinely eerie. One Day at Horrorland is a really, really fun experience. Again, if you are a big Goosebumps fan like myself and grew up on the books and the TV show and all that stuff, and you happen to be like myself and happen to be 24 going on 25 this year, this book is going to be up your alley. You are going to love this book if you are trying to either get back into Goosebumps, or if you're getting into it for the first time, or if you're trying to get your kids into Goosebumps. Horrorland, you can't go wrong with. This is so good. I really enjoyed this tremendously. One of my favorite Goosebumps books now. It's a bummer that I've read this as an adult and don't have a copy of the original, which I'm sure I could get my hands on. But one of the original prints, I don't own any of those. I would love to get my hands on one since I love this so much. It just goes to show what Goosebumps what you can do with this, and it doesn't have to do what the Goosebumps Monsters at Midnight or the Download and Die IDW comics did, where they made it so politically correct and just stupid. You didn't have to go that route to make children's entertainment in the 90s and make it good. And this is great. There's no cursing, no blood, any of that stuff, but it's genuinely kind of scary at times. Not in the sense of having like a monster chase you like in the Wolf Village thing, but some of the events, like the Doom Slide thing, I just really enjoyed. I couldn't recommend it enough, folks. I know this is a relatively short review, but I don't have a whole lot to say. This is kind of, in a weird way, a darker toned book, as wacky and wild as it is, compared to a lot of Goosebumps books. Kind of like how Night of the Living Dummy. The original Night of the Living Dummy is very dark compared to a lot of Goosebumps books, or most Goosebumps books for that matter, even to this day in the newer series that are running on, like Slappy World and Most Wanted and all those. But yeah, for the most part, I love One Day at Horrorland. I don't really have any nitpicks at all, even with this book. It's real fun. It has a really funny, kind of humorous solution at the end of the book that's really enjoyable. I couldn't recommend this enough to you folks if you haven't seen it or read it before. Even the TV episodes, if you've read the book and you enjoyed it and haven't seen the TV episodes, try to get them on like Netflix or Amazon Prime or something and watch those two episodes, or on DVD or something, because they were pretty cool too. They aren't very, very close to the book for the most part, but they're still kind of fun, I have to tell you. But yeah, guys, what are your thoughts on Goosebumps One Day at Horrorland? Put your thoughts and comments down in the comment section down below. And thank you for watching, and may the Lord Jesus Christ bless you guys today, and goodbye.